what do you mean a new brow thing?
I had this like pencil, not a pencil, but like I still use the Anastasia brow powder, but I have a new brush. And my old brush would like, I could like really draw them on. And this is more of like a fill in. And so I feel like they're a little bit thinner,
Well, I've seen
but
you.
also more hair looking.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're top heavy, like like the top of the brow.
This part's heavy,
Yeah, like
but that's
the
because I overplucked all of this. And this is the hair that's here and the hair that's there. So I'm like,
yeah, there's nobody who's female who was alive in the early 2000s that did not overpluck. But
I
no, I think they look fine.
hate that we did this. Okay.
I think they look fine. I'm on to the mascara. I hate,
Okay.
so I don't know. Next time we see each other, bring all your mascara gear and we
Okay.
will. I mean, I've seen you without the brows, with the
Yeah.
brows, so
Okay.
we
We'll
can out.
dissect. We'll do a makeup tutorial on mullet.
We'll mull it up and
Yeah.
we'll do our brows. But I
Do our
think that the
brows.
brows are important because they frame your face. So I'm all,
I think so too. Now that
yeah,
you said they're top heavy, I'm like, well, fuck, how do I balance that out if I don't have any brow?
I think that's the point of filling them in. There's girls that like put like
Like the
gel
stencil.
and stencil it. I bought the
Yeah.
stencil.
I do the gel. I do the gel, but the gel gels the hair that's there. And if there's not a lot of hair there,
You got
I
to
think I'm
build
gonna
it.
get microbladed. I think I'm gonna do microblading.
That's what I said.
I think I'm gonna do it.
Do it with me in October. We'll microblade. I think because I don't want to deal with my
Just a
brows.
random like I can't do it to you. Where are we? Are you gonna research this? Or are we just gonna
Yeah, I'm like in
show
October.
off like we do tattoos and just be like, did you do microblading here?
We'd like our brows
We'll
microbladed.
like a
No, but again, this brings me back to look at all the shit that we have to
I
do as
know.
women.
I hate it.
My
Preach.
husband always,
They don't
always,
give a fuck about their eyebrows.
no, he has what I call an evil. And an evil is like, I'm like, your evils are huge. He has two or three super gross, long, sometimes they're white brow hairs that grow double or triple the size of normal brow. And
Mm-mm.
it curls. And I go, can you pluck your evil?
I would
Like,
be doing it while he slept. Just and
yeah. And we've got gel and I've got a brow pencil and I'm paying
I'm like, are mine too
$39.
thin?
Yeah. I walked out of Sephora, $120 in the
I
pot for my
hate it.
brows.
I hate it. It's such bullshit.
And I have to wax my vagina.
And we have to shave our legs.
I'm over it.
Ugh,
No,
I give
I
up.
know. I know.
I'm
I
really
give up.
in this season, I'm actually kind of thankful to be single and not have to worry about any of that. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Like the only time I have to worry about it is if I'm laying in bed and I can't fall asleep because my leg hairs are like scratching me. And then I'm like, okay, maybe tomorrow I'll go. Maybe I'll shave tomorrow.
I did go for a
You
long
know?
stretch. Yeah, I went for a long stretch this winter and I was like, I'm not shaving. I do not care. Hair is just going
Yeah.
to it's going to just go rampant. And
Yeah.
there was a point where the husband did pipe up and was like, I'm going to need you to maybe do something. And I was like, and you can pluck your evils.
I will shave when you trim your brows.
Yeah, just come on. I
Yeah.
have chin hair now.
We talked about that. You know, I have the nose hair thing that we talked about. Are you gonna, how do you remove that permanently? Or is it something you're always gonna have to deal with?
I'm gonna have to pluck it all the time. I don't know, but there was this woman who was a teacher years and years ago who had a mole. Did I ever tell you about this mole?
Mm-mm.
She had a giant mole on her chin and a lot of hair grew out of it. And
Oh, I hate that.
instead though, and I was like, man, props girl. Instead of plucking them or shaving them, they were so long she could braid and she put a tiny bead, a
No,
tiny,
no.
tiny bead on the bottom of her chin braid. And I
I
was
just
like,
didn't care.
she gave
Just
no,
rocked it.
obviously she gives no fucks if she's got a
Oh
chin
my
braid.
God.
But sister, you
I
do
could
you.
never. Yeah, I could never. No,
But if
I
you
have this, look, I have this mole right here on my hand, right next to my tattoo, and one hair grows out of it, and I'm constantly like, if it gets too long. Because I'm like, I think that's the most awkward. And again, I hate that we're even not that superficial or vain or whatever, but like I got a giant mole and hairs are growing out of it. I'm plucking that shit. I
I'll
don't care
pluck,
where it is.
I don't care where it is. If it's
Yeah,
long enough to braid, no.
gone.
But yeah, you do you. So I saw this. Well, actually, this is kind of funny because where is it on my phone? So there was an amazing thing on social media that kind of made me think of you and I. And it was in this post. Now, whether this girl, I think, did you read the book, The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest?
Maybe I think I listened to the audiobook.
Yeah, this is a post from her from this book. And I think it was like maybe, let's say, an 8 carousel flipping through. And you guys
Yeah.
just go check Brianna Wiest, The Mountain Is
West.
You. It's Wie. So I was
Oh,
thinking Wiest, Brianna
Weiss.
Wiest. Could be Wiest,
Weiss.
West, tomato, you know. But
Rihanna.
let me read you carousel number 3 because I thought this was really really interesting for us, and I'd love
Okay.
to know what you would say. But it said,
Yeah.
if social media didn't exist and nobody knew what you were doing, how would you live differently? If you knew that you wouldn't be able to show off or share anything that you chose to do with your life, how would it alter your ambitions? What is a true desire of your heart versus an aspiration of your ego?
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, pause,
Uh-huh.
screenshot. Because
Well, I
when you,
think there needs to be a moment of silence for just that world, right?
oh,
Like imagine how glorious that would be.
well, I lived it. You lived it too for a bit when we were younger. We didn't have phones and I wasn't on Instagram and nobody was posting. And I had a
I lived it in like high school. You know
dude,
what I mean? Like as
I had
an
a pager.
adult,
I had a pager.
I never had a pager.
I had a pager on my hip. And I
And
was
it's
like,
always been in my life since adulthood. You know what I mean? It's like as an adult being able to live your life without the like pull of social media, like it's like a dream.
but would you do anything differently if you didn't have to show everything? Because you show your routine, that's your whole thing. But I know, I mean, I'm not going to answer for you because I have obviously spent a lot of time with you where
Yeah.
I do see, is it real or bullshit?
Yeah.
You know, like if you weren't posting, do you just like, but I like I've been with you and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I know she does exactly the same thing, whether
Yeah.
she,
Well,
I
and
know what you're
that's
doing.
like we kind of talked about before. I started taking those like Sundays off of social media. And it's like I shared this on one of my calls. I literally do the exact same things, but it's just with this lightness. I don't know how else to explain it. You know what I mean? There's no like burden or like heaviness or I need to post or I should, how do I want to record this today? Or how do I share my thing today? Or what I need to post something inspiring. You know, there's no like, there's none of that. It's like my favorite fucking day of the week because I just get to show up and keep it all to myself. You know what I
Oh,
mean? But I say, you know, I could do that now, but I wouldn't have the business I have now, right? Like I think there's a big difference when you have like an actual business on social media that you have to show up for in a certain way. And not even in a certain way, because it's how I show up in real life, but the fact that I have to share it every single day is
tiresome.
tiresome and annoying and heavy sometimes. And sometimes I just want to be like, you know what? I just want to eat this avocado toast and not have to talk about it, or journal and not have to take a picture, or work out and not have to tell someone I worked out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean,
yeah,
like the thing is that I think that we still laugh the same,
yeah.
show up the same. I just think that how would
But
I
I
live?
look at social media and I'm like, I know there's a lot of people that probably don't.
It's more like I look and I go, well, what would I be doing differently? And I think that the key would be I would do it slower
Mm,
because
yes.
I do sometimes feel like I'm like, okay, I need to get this done quickly so that I have time to upload something, write a caption, filter it
Yeah.
if I need to, not filter it. What are my words? Is there music to this? Like, you know, it
Yeah.
would be that there's more of a, I just don't
There's
need to do that.
a flow without interruption, right?
Yes.
Like, I think social media is such a big interruption for me and my day. And I like, you know, like I picture you and I'm like, you have to be at work at a certain time of the day. Like, your morning flow from the time you woke up to the time you went to work would look dramatically different than it does now if social media weren't a thing.
if my tripod falls over, I'm like, fuck, man, damn it. My ring light collapses. I can't do a thing here today.
How are people going to know what I'm doing this morning?
My
Like,
routine's off.
imagine it wasn't even a thing. I'm just like, oh, that had to have been like, I don't know.
I just thought it was an interesting
It's a very
kind of
interesting
thought
topic.
is like, if
Yeah.
you are somebody that, is on social media or, does post or not, if nobody was watching, what would you do differently? Right.
Yeah.
But I've got to
Yeah.
read that book because I
No,
do know I saw it from you at some point.
I'm 99% sure, but ask me to quote something from the book and I couldn't. I think I've just gone through so many that I'm like, what book was that? I have no idea.
Do you highlight and underline in your books?
I don't, I bookmark sometimes in my audiobooks, and in my regular books, I don't. I take a lot of pictures. Like I have an album full of like pictures of pages of books, which is not helpful in any way, shape, or form. So I should probably highlight because then they just get drowned in the dog pictures and the horse pictures and the here's my journaling page again.
Oh my God.
You
Yeah.
know.
And you're not climbing into bed going, I'm gonna re-bring up my screenshotted
No.
pages from the books.
No. And that's the thing too, is like that, like I don't want social media at night. So like I had somebody that I have a one-on-one client who is an author, and she sent me a link to some books, but they're only on like Kindle. And so she sent me a PDF, and I'm like, I'm never going to read these. I'm never going to read them because I don't want to sit in bed on my phone or on a Kindle or on any screen of any kind and read. Like that's not
I got the Kindle and all that, and I held it and I was like, I need a book.
Yeah.
I need the book. I need to turn the page. I want to highlight something. I like to dog tier. I like to pass on my books.
Yeah.
So if I read something that I'm like, this is amazing, I need to give that book, like I like to pay it forward.
See, I'm a hoarder. I want like
have...
my dream is to have a wall, and like I'm also the one that like saves images on Instagram of like this office with like the bookshelves and the books are laid this way. And yeah, I'm a hoarder and I want to have like a giant bookshelf in my next house.
Both are totally fine as long as you read.
Fair.
There was a thing I saw also on social media that if you commit, it was something like 18 minutes every day for a year to something. It's like over 100 hours.
Yeah.
But you'll be better than 95% of the population. So like if you were to 18 minutes a day practice karate, or 18 minutes a day try to do origami or sewing or crocheting or whatever it is, 18 minutes a day for one full year. And the guy was saying the key to this is consistency. So most people do that like 18 minutes. Everyone's got 18 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's not like 18 minutes of exercise. It's like working on a hobby. And if you can do that on a thing, and you were like, you know what, I really want to ballroom dance, and you do that for 18 minutes for one full year, you'll have put in over 100 hours and you will be better than 95% of the population.
I love that. I'm thinking as you're saying that, I'm like, that's why I'm so fucking good at my routine and everything in it, is because I've been doing it for at least 18 minutes a day for as long as I can remember. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why it's so easy for me and not for other people. It's like that consistency, even in that short amount of time every single day, like sit down and read every single day for 18 minutes. Like I love that.
And that's what I was just going to say, is bringing it back to books. Imagine if you just read for 18 minutes before bed every single day for a full year. That's over 100 hours. Imagine all the stuff you'd learn.
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel. I'm like, it was like January of 2021 when I started. It was like in December, because I took that social media break. December 2020, I started reading. Like prior to that, I could count on one hand how many books I had read in my entire adult life. You know what I mean? That were just for fun. And it was like half of this book, a chapter of this book, because I had zero interest, and something in me clicked and was like, oh my God. And then book after book after book, I was like, I'm learning things. I feel like constantly in this state of growth. I feel like just ever evolving because I'm like, and it was such a cool feeling to hold on to.
And I feel, can you guys hear that? That was the school bell. Did you hear that?
I didn't even hear it.
I was gonna be like, school's out. But what I was gonna say though about reading too is you've moved through genres.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think that for me, when I read, I feel so calm.
Yeah.
Like it's like a habit trigger for me to slow down. It's like, this is part of actually just my evening routine. I don't have time to read in the morning. I have to get up,
Yeah.
get my day going, kids, get in the car, commute, go to work. But at night, that is where, and I think I said to you, and I shared this, I have gotten into and had a terrible habit. I was on my phone every single night. I'd crawl into bed with my phone and be like, Instagram and TikTok, what do you got
Yeah.
for me? Give me a laugh, give me some entertainment. What can I send to my friends?
Yeah.
And I wasn't reading. And I said
Yeah.
to you, I was like, I'm not reading anymore because I am addicted to my phone. And I'm on it every single night, looking, scrolling. And it wasn't, I was starting to like notice certain things, like the stuff with my eyebrows, like we were just talking about. I was starting to get crazy with makeup for like for aging women, menopause. I was like all in this like deep thing. None of this has to do with me yet.
Yeah.
But I was being like overwhelmed because of
That
my
is.
phone instead of reading some good coho,
Yeah.
doing a little self-exploration, figuring out what other genres of books I like. Like I just, yeah, I had to put a major stop to that.
Yeah. No, that is probably the biggest roadblock I hear from people daily is their phone and how much it sucks them in and how much it prevents them from doing the things that they actually want to do or things that make them feel good. And it's like, so you ask that, like, what would it feel like with that? I'm like, I think it would feel fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
I think we wouldn't even know. I don't even think we know what life is until we just totally disconnect from our phone. And then we're like, oh my God, this is blissful and peaceful and calm. And we're not in comparison and we're not stressing and we're not worrying and we're not in the, I need this and I should have that. And where, you know what I mean? Like it's constant noise, constantly.
It's so loud. A buddy
Yeah.
of mine that I teach with just went away, and him and his girlfriend went to a cabin, and he goes, yeah, we got there and there was no Wi-Fi. And we were there for 4 days. And my whole body shivered, and I was like, oh, that sounds delicious. Oh God, you didn't even have to. Like, I would love it to be taken away from
Yeah.
me. You remember
Yeah.
there was a couple days over the pandemic when like Instagram shut down or like
Yeah.
it wasn't working, and everybody in the world was like Googling what's happening with Instagram. And
Yeah.
across the board, people took like a breath.
Yeah. Much needed, probably.
Yeah. If you're a content creator or a consumer, it's good to take a break.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, Instagram is good for one thing, and I think we should mull it up for this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We should mull it up.
With my new headphones,
Yeah, but
might I add?
you've got a new look because the mullet and headphones look good. Okay, here we go,
How do you
people.
do sunglasses with the headphones though?
Well, you gotta take the headphones off first, then mull it up, then
Okay.
shades.
Don't talk. I don't want to miss anything.
Okay, 3, 2,
Hold on. Oh yeah.
3, 2, 1, baby. Let's go.
1, 2, go. Oh no, I forgot my elastic.
Ugh. Get your ponytail ready. Girls, if you got your mullets, toss them on because
All right, let's just see how it hits with new headphones.
Well, first of all, you know that with the headphones, it just see, it hits differently.
We need to update our graphics.
Yep, the graphic needs to have headphones on it now.
God, my hair though. Okay.
Yep.
We're fine.
Hot mullet walks now.
Hot mullet. Hot mullet walks. All right.
Because the great thing about Instagram is on our social media, if you're not following us, guys, go to Mullet Talk on Instagram, follow, subscribe, leave a comment for us. TOK, Mullet, TOK, Mullet Talk. But give us some feedback. And we wanted to kind of get some interaction going. And we were saying, is there a question for us? And we got a few questions. And so I thought that we could just do a quick Q&A. I'm going to read a couple of them and then we can kind of answer them. And, social media, let's use it for what it's meant for, which is community building, interacting, all that good stuff. Okay. So one of them was, this one was an interesting because it wasn't really a question. It was just kind of a comment. Someone just wrote.
You were springing these on me, by the way. You were like, do you want to know ahead of time what the questions were? And I was like, no, let's just randomly surprise me and go.
Yeah. Raina's coming in blind.
Blind.
So one just said, I just can't do it all. Help.
What do you think she meant by that?
Well, I'm assuming it's female.
Life.
And I'm assuming it's life, and I'm assuming it's overwhelm and the pressures of everything. And I just can't do it all. Help.
Hmm.
And I know where you're going to go with this, because you would probably start with, well, what
This
is
is
your
what I
routine?
do.
This is this is so if
I'm
I
gonna
said
need
that to you, I
my
mean, what would you
PayPal is yeah.
if I said that to you, I just can't do it all. Help.
Well, obviously you can't do it all. There's this quote that I like, it stuck with me forever, and it's such a simple quote, but it's like you can do you can do anything but not everything.
Love.
Love that. Like you can do anything you want to do, but you cannot do everything. And I think as women specifically, we wear 100 different hats. We are pulled in 100 different directions every single day as parents, as entrepreneurs, as, homemakers, like every single thing. We literally have so much on our plate. So no, you can't do everything. Where do you need help?
And I would also say, give yourself permission to slow down. Like
Yes.
we've been big on the slow down train, where
Yeah.
hustle culture has kind of, I'm like, I think they're misleading people.
Yeah.
And we give you permission to slow down.
Yeah. Well,
You
I
can't
think
do it all.
I think so many of us lived in hustle culture for so long when it was the thing to do, and it was like keep going and grind and all of these things. And I think that got us, probably some of us, in like a different space, which maybe felt good for a period of time, and then burnout hits, right? And then it's like, okay, but this actually isn't what I wanted, or I did this end result that I thought I was going to get is not what I actually thought it was going to be. And I think there's a lot of us 30, 40 somethings are like backtracking now. We're like, wait, I actually hold on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I
Like
do.
it doesn't feel like we thought it was going to feel. And there's this wired way of living now that we have because we've done it for so many years, and our value is tied to how productive we've been and what we've accomplished and yada yada yada, that we're just burnt the fuck out.
And I think to myself, okay, if you don't understand why we're in mullets, it's because it's a power move. Like
Yeah.
it's an empowerment move. It's a confidence. It's a hilarity. It's a lightness, right? We're having some shits and giggles here.
Yeah.
So if you were to
Big
toss
shits
a
and giggles.
big shits and giggles, if somebody was to say, like, I just can't do it all, help. And I say, okay, let's put that mullet on. What is important, and what can you stop saying yes to?
What do you need to let go of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think the whole thing is that in the empowered state of a mullet is you're kind of just like, actually, that doesn't serve me anymore. And that's like a
Yeah.
powerful, bold thing to say as a woman, because we do say yes to so many things. Like, yes, I can help you. Yes. Who needs this? Yes. Kids, you guys, husband, whoever it
Mommy.
is, partner.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So sometimes we say no.
Yeah.
And we say no with confidence and kindness and heart and all
Yeah.
of that good stuff, but we say no to open up doors and space for us.
Preach.
Question, I feel like that was a good one, but this one,
That was good.
this one is interesting, and you're going to hate this because this kind of catches you off guard, but I can't, and I actually haven't thought about it, but describe each other in 3 words.
Oh, I hate this.
Okay, I'll go first.
You do one, I'll do one, you do one, I'll do one, you do one.
Oh, I see. Ping pong the
Yeah.
words. Ping pong.
Yeah. We'll ping pong it.
Okay, ping pong the word. My first
I need a
word,
dictionary.
my first word for you, and like I can explain it if you
Okay.
need to. My first is clarity.
Oh, I was expecting like sexy or
Yeah. Could you please talk about me, please? Yeah.
clarity. Okay. Define,
Clarity.
like explain.
So if I was to describe Raina in 3 words, one of mine would be clarity, because I have watched you be so clouded and kind of like that, like, no offense, but that last question, I just can't do it all. Help. I was like, did Raina write this one? Um, because I've seen
Fair.
that phase of you, completely
Yeah.
clouded, no mullet energy, literally saying yes to everything, overwhelmed, burned out,
Yeah.
zero clarity of what feels good. And so I have seen you grab clarity in the realm of like what feels good to me. And then the mullet move is saying yes to that. So
Thank
one
you.
word for you is I'm going
I
to
feel
say
that.
clarity.
I feel that. Thank you. I would say a word for Ali to describe Ali is
I'm ready.
devoted.
Oh,
Friendship, like there is no friend like Ali. Like if you have a friend like Ali, that is like the most loud, not in, you know, loudness, but in like this most upfront, real, in your face, like dedicated and devoted friend you'll ever have. And there for you no matter what. And in parenting and in your business, dot, dot, dot,
I
etc.
love that. Thank you.
You're
This is
welcome.
also a good lesson for both of us and to just take a compliment.
I know.
So I don't know
I'm
whoever
like
wrote this.
sweating.
I know. Well, whoever wrote this, like it's awkward to actually
Yeah.
like I have no problem telling you how great you are, but receiving it is like awkward sauce.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one that I'm going to use for you. So my first one is clarity. The next word I would say to describe Raina is alive.
Oh, thank you. I like it.
Yeah. And that isn't just like your heart is beating, we're breathing, peace, thank goodness.
She's awake.
It's like, yeah, she's awake, people, she's breathing. But I'm like, man, you're alive. You are out soaking up the sun. You are planning for the future. You see the possibilities right now. And again, maybe it's just because I've seen a trajectory of you,
Yeah.
but it's like,
All of these words
yeah,
are exactly opposite of what I've been
yeah.
so far.
If it was describe Raina like 2, 3, 5 years ago, I'd have
Yeah.
a fully different set of
Yeah.
lists of
Yeah.
words. But yeah, so alive, you're alive. And I mean that in the most like woke,
Yeah.
present, yummy, sunshiny way.
Thank
Bing,
you.
bang, boom. Bing, bang, boom. Your turn. Talk more about me. Go. Word number 2.
It's gonna get harder and harder. I don't know what I'm gonna say for number 3. I would say number 2 word for you is infectious.
These are big words.
I was gonna say hilarious, but it was more than that, right? Like it's your energy is infectious, your laughter is infectious, your humor is infectious, like you are infectious.
Mm,
Mm,
thank you.
you're welcome. Don't
If
ask
any,
me number 3. I'm like, fuck, I don't know.
yeah, can we stop at 2? Can we
Yeah,
stop at
can
2?
I have
Okay,
like
my last
2?
word.
Okay.
My last word for you, and this is kind of this will shock you, but these are not pre-planned. This is just what's in my head. I'm just gonna go with the word smart.
Okay.
I don't
Thank
know
you.
if anyone's, I don't know if people have ever described you as that because
I don't think
um
ever.
I am going to say my last word for you is smart because you're someone I call for advice, not just for my wah wah stuff, but like, like I call you to ask questions about business or about social media or about life. And there is such a smartness, and I think that comes from life experience.
Mhm.
And shit, girl, you got a lot of that. So yeah, I'm gonna say my last clarity is one,
Okay.
alive, smart. That's my 3 words to describe Raina. Thank you very much for showing up.
Which is hilarious because those are not the 3 words I would have picked for myself. Like, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? I mean, of course, if it was like on a list, I'd be like, sure, maybe, but like the top 3, like I love that. I love that. Thank you. Fuck.
The last one, make it a good one for me because I just threw down smart. So please play on maybe things that just give me something good that like for the rest of the day, I just am on cloud 9 going,
I'm gonna
oh my,
say number 3 for Ali, sex appeal.
yeah, I knew it. I knew it. You guys, the mom bod. I used to joke about this all the time, guys, the
But
freckles.
maybe in a not so funny way, like confidence, because and I think this is something that maybe because I know you, like, you ooze it, but then you're like, I'm too old and I'm too this and I'm too that and I'm the fat one and all these like stories that you tell yourself. But
Mhm.
through that, you still show up in such an energetic confidence.
I mean, I tell my teens this all the time. I would go to parties, through my teens and my 20s or 30s or wherever. And I have some you being one of them,
Yeah.
beautiful friends, beautiful, beautiful friends. And I would come in and be like, oh, the sad Sally is coming in next to, the hot friends here. But I would always leave with a boyfriend and some guy or girl being like, I love you. And I keep telling like my teens or, anybody that listens, I'm like, personality wins.
Anybody that listens.
Like, you guys, personality, trust me. I'm just like, the
It's
power of making
true.
someone laugh, the power of like listening to people or eye contact. So if you think that I'm sexy, I'm taking it and running.
Sex appeal.
Sex appeal, baby. That's our top 3 words describing. Last question. This is an interesting one. And there's 2 more, but we'll rock it through these ones. If you could only do one thing from your morning routine, what would it be? So only one thing from your morning routine, what would it be?
Could I move things to my evening routine?
No, stop trying to cheat the question. You only get to do one thing. So for me, I'm going to just, because you like an extra 30 seconds to think. So mine is ice on my face. And I know your daughter, Kenzie, will love it.
Wow.
I love a good ice mask, piece of ice, cold water splash. So that's a routine thing that I do every single morning, hence my youthful looks. So I'm for sure keeping ice on my face. That's my one thing. Okay. What is the one thing?
My go-to is like journaling, but I'm gonna move journaling to nighttime. And my one thing would be like the process of making my matcha and just like taking a pause. Like the slow down of my morning, that intentional slow down where it's like no rush, nobody's downstairs, it's kind of still dark in the house, like that, the slow down.
And I think that if anybody's listening, that doesn't need to take long. Like a pause is like just that word.
45 seconds.
And like, it's the acknowledgement of it. It's like, here's the pause. Look at my day.
Yeah.
I think, coming back to even the social media, like I'm actually happy you post what you do, because my favorite out of all your posts is your morning. Like the one, like if you do a picture of a sunrise, I always try to do that too, because that's in the pause of my day. I go, look at that tree, look at the sunrise, look at the thing, like pause, appreciate, move on.
Yep. Period.
Last question. How did we meet?
I think we should make an episode out of that.
I do too. I think it's a whole
such a good story.
So I think let's do that. We can do that next week. Guys, those were hilarious and like easy.
Awesome questions. Awesome questions.
Let's put more in our social media. We want to keep interacting, but do us a big and subscribe and leave us a review.
Yes. On all platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple.
How could you not watch this?
That's too much. I know. I've been just linking the YouTube because I'm like, this is just, you need the visual. Because I would listen on Spotify, like we both will kind of listen to our podcast and we'll giggle and we'll enjoy it and stuff like that. But I'm like, oh my God, at that moment, we were throwing the mullets on, or we were doing this, we were doing that. And I'm like, God, you need the visual. You need the visual. Go pull us up on YouTube.
Go pull us up on YouTube. And check us in every week, but definitely fly over to Instagram, comment. We posted that one reel and it's like closing in on 600K likes and comments and people tagging all about just us and our mental health. So, there is so much.
We're a little messed up, just like everyone else.
We're here for it, So tune in. We'll be back next week. Let's talk about us and how we met.